Good morning, everybody. It's Lindsey Huddleston with SPS back in the building for another SPS Monday Motivation. And if you watch my timeline, you know I've had an outstanding weekend celebrating my daughter's 11th birthday. That's right, folks. Madeline is 11 years old and going strong. Oh, my goodness. I'm having a great time with her. My mother was able to come up from Detroit to hang out with us. We had a great time. And then I was able to get down to Detroit, hang out with my guys, my Sands, Mato Allen and Dr. John Hagens. Went for a bike ride, put in almost 20 miles yesterday. So I'm feeling some kind of way. But I want to talk to you about today's topic. I'm really excited about it. I came across something on social media and someone posed a question, and it stayed with me for a while, and now I get a chance to put it out there. Yes, sir! Right on time, Dr. Hagens. Thank you for being part, man, and helping put that ride together. That's going to be our monthly thing, no doubt, while the weather permits, and all are welcome to join with the bros when we get out here. It's going to be a good time. Thank you, though, John. So you played a great role in on our trip. I remember talking to someone along the way. I think you remember I made that quick pit stop. And today's Monday Motivation is, what does your life look like uninterrupted? What does your life look like uninterrupted? That's right. What is uninterrupted? It's a term we hear. Shout out to LeBron James for his podcast and his platform that he has that has that terminology. But uninterrupted is defined as without a break in continuity, an uninterrupted flow of traffic. We know what it's like to get all green lights. What I'm talking about is when we live a life when we're not really concerned about things that kind of can get us off track day to day, whether it's bills, other issues that are going on in our lives, or just the way we think about ourselves going towards the future. Who we have here? Good morning. We got Michelle Mimi Watkins in the building, always on time. And then she has a special note. She says, happy birthday, Madeline. Thank you. Thank you for sending a happy birthday to Madeline. She is enjoying all her glory today. When I text her this morning to get up to go to school, she said, I said, good morning to my 11-year-old. And she was happy to say that. But talking about interrupted, guys, and what that's like, you know, the terminology that goes with uninterrupted is synonymous with undisturbed, consecutive, ceaseless, continuous, sustained, continual. You know, we can go on and on about what is on that list. I got my brother here this morning coming in too. Good morning, my brother. Got Kevin Marshall's page. My man is doing it, Kev. I see you doing your thing. You are enlarging your digital footprint with these platforms is going to help many people, and brother, you are going to do it. I see you. Just keep pushing. And Kevin, maybe this is a message for you as well when we talk about when we can go on and do something that's uninterrupted and, you know, continue to have an impact. So there was a great article I was able to see in the called it was in Very Well Mind is where the article was, and it was talking about what is negativity bias. Very interesting term I want to introduce. It was by Kendra Cherry. It was an interesting article on what she shared, and what is this concept that goes along with living a life that's uninterrupted? Well, it's like this, guys. Interruptions also can make us feel insignificant and unimportant. When things happen in our life that stop us from our goals and what we're working on and what we do. My brother Kevin Marsh says, thank you, my brother. You're welcome. Chad, good morning, brother. So good to see you. Been running to you a lot. You're out here getting it done, man. Continue the positive energy as you go out here and provide so much value to the world. Such an outstanding young man with great future indeed. Keep an eye on Chad Garant, no doubt. Also, my mom, good morning, mother. Thank you for coming in and all those things. Thank you. So what we're talking about right now is what stops us from living in our purpose. What stops us from living in our purpose? Oh, man, I had a great time with someone recently, and I'll talk about that in a second. And this negativity bias. The negativity bias is our tendency not only to register negative stimuli more readily, but also to dwell on these events. So we have to realize that there's a phenomenon going on that what we do sometimes is that when something happens and it's negative, we register it more easily. It jumps to us. It's also known as the positive-negative asymmetry. This negativity bias means that we feel the sting of a rebuke more powerfully than we feel the joy of praise. You want to talk about being a young man out here in the world trying to say hello to someone and getting turned down. You talk about not getting the job that you wanted. You talk about something you tried to achieve and they say no. You talk about being a nonprofit and you get that note back saying, no, we did not fund your proposal. Got all these things. So I just want to add to this. I want to stay on this for a second, even if this goes past the normal time we normally have these discussions. It's really important to understand that there's nothing wrong with you because negative things stay in your brain a little bit more. It's nothing wrong with you. This is just the human nature and where we are. This is a psychological phenomenon. It explains that why bad first impressions can be so difficult to overcome. Ooh, wow, talking to somebody. Why past traumas can have such a lingering effect. Yeah, they say get over it. It's not that easy. We are psychologically predisposed to let these negative things hold on. And we can have a million positive things happen in our lives, but the negative hold on. But it also impacts us going forward with the things we try to do. Good message, my brother says. Thank you, Chad. I appreciate you. You keep it up. Keep checking on you, too. But I just think it's something to understand. John comes in and says, positivity is contagious. Talk about that. Just be kind to others and mainly to yourself. It's really that simple. I understand that, John, but I think sometimes we get into this cycle of negativity. I have to watch what I'm watching on social media at times, and I'll be the first to admit I engage in social media a great deal, and I'm always as conscious as possible. Got my brother Keith Bates in here. Good morning, Hoss. How you doing, family? Always good to see my brother. Soon enough, we'll be back out there on the court checking in with each other as you do great leadership things with these young people going forward. But I think it's important to understand, guys, that it's okay if these negative things kind of stand out a little bit more, talking about the past traumas or because you had a bad interaction with someone the first time. And I admit myself, I got some people that have had interaction with that I wasn't so happy with that it's kind of stayed with me. Michelle talks about understanding your feelings and emotions are important. It is, but we live in a society, Michelle, where we suppress these things, these emotions and these feelings. And sometimes when we're trying to understand it leads us to things that we're not comfortable with. I once heard the hardest thing for a man or a woman to do is sit alone in a room with their thoughts. So with that, we talked about this negative and sympathy. So what are some things we can do? But before we do that, I want to give you some examples of living a life uninterrupted. Earlier in this year, we were talking about a guy right here, Lamar Jackson, 5 years, $260 million. He acted as his own agent, and he got the highest NFL contract. And people along the way was telling him, "You shouldn't do this. You don't know what you're doing." He didn't hire an agent. He let his mom handle it and gave her the percentage the agent would get. That's someone living in their purpose, and look what he's done on the other end. There were so many things along the way that could have allowed the negativity bias to take over, with people telling him what he shouldn't be doing and you don't know what you're doing. And let's just be real. African-American athlete, African-American mother, working in a space that's normally reserved for individuals of different backgrounds, and here he is saying, I'm going to do this. So you know what all kind of stigmas that were out there, but he stayed with that. He lived a life uninterrupted. He didn't let those things and that negativity bias stop him. You want to bring it closer to home? Somebody you might know, be familiar with, shout out to my guy Desmond Ferguson. Shout out to the Ferguson family. I see my guy Ron Ferguson there. Let's see, Des Jr. there, Cecilia, his wife, Mayor Andy Shore, for the ribbon cutting I was able to be a part of. Des and I had a great interview that'll be coming out on Friday. Looking forward to sharing that with you guys when he talks about this has been a 21-year grind. There were 3 stores before this, and now he has this one global world headquarters right here, but that's living a life uninterrupted. He didn't let the fact that he was an athlete stop him from having a significant career. Let's be honest, even more impactful career after his collegiate and professional days were done. That's living a life uninterrupted. He didn't let all those things get to him. Yeah, shout out to Des, right? Excuse me. Congratulations to Desmond Ferguson. That's a great example, and I'm happy to be a part of that. But let's talk about another crew. Oh, yeah, shameless plug right here. We're going to be at the Detroit Pizza Bar in Detroit this Sunday. E.J. Harrelson of Schoolcraft College, men's head basketball coach, and Toria Robinson, Wayne State University Associate Athletic Director. She's also assistant boys coach at Renaissance High School. But we're going to be at a major location, the Detroit Pizza Bar. Shout out to Acuna and Marcus. You know, they could have easily let people say, well, that's an undeveloped area that you're going in on 6 Mile near Livernois. There's nothing happening right here. You want to bring this $1 million building here. You want to get a pizza oven from Italy to be shipped in. You want to do all these things right on 6 Mile. And this is a beautiful, beautiful venue, great food and great atmosphere. We got Patricia England. You know, her mom says, understand that negativity is normal. That's a very good way to put it, mother. Be positive has more power, but positivity has more power. Gravitate to the positive. Well, it's about the people you with. You saw Dr. Hagens on my timeline. Love calling you Dr. Hagens, well deserved. And Monto Allen, we went for that bike ride and got that mileage in. We could have stopped a long time ago and said, oh boy, no, not this, not this. But also, Tyler Perry made this comment. Said, I don't care how many people tell you no, all you need is one yes. I think that's very interesting. You know, we get so caught up in the no's, but to be honest, in most cases, we only have the capacity to fulfill the yes. We'll say that part again. We can get so caught up in the no's, but we may only have the physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, and whatever other capacity to fulfill the yes. So when you do get that yes, that's all you really got time for, to live a life where you can still have a quality of life, still take care of your family, still enjoy yourself, still go for a bike ride with your fellas, still go to the game, still shout out people. Michelle says one yes, that's it. All it takes is one yes. But we understand this phenomenon stops us from doing it. Mom gives a side note shout out to her other son. Good morning, John Hagens Jr. That's Mom showing love. She's been rocking with the fam, the fellas, for a long time. But then I bring it closer to home to my organization, SPS. To be at this point right now where I have a great partner in the Detroit Wayne Integrated Health Network, and what we're able to do, what we've come from, along our time. I mentioned Dez. Dez was 21 years in the making. I'm 5+, going into 6 years in the making right now with what we have. So before I wrap up, I want to give you some things that we can focus on and work on to do as well. You have to be able to take care of that. You have to be on top going forward. So with that being said, a few more things I want to add. The word no. Indication and continuation of movement. What is the opposite of no? The reverse of the word no. The reverse of the word no is on. If you take that and read it backwards, it's on. And what is on? Indicating continuation of movement or action. So don't let a no get you, because the reverse of that no, if you said that word backwards, it's saying I'm on. It's going to happen. Some things are going to happen, no doubt indeed, going forward. It is a great thing to talk about. It's a great thing to see. John Hagens says, hey, moms, love you, love, love, love. There's a big love fest going on. But a few more things, guys, before I wrap up, I want to make sure I mentioned Tyler Perry in this comment, but, he also said something that was really significant that I was able to hear before I go give you some other tools you can use that can help you with that. Tyler Perry said, it's that voice that you're going to hear in your head. It's that voice saying, this is for you. It's that voice that says, you can do it, you can make it. That is the voice of God. So as we hear these no's and we manage this negativity bias, just know that voice that we hear, that one little thing, say, man, I just feel I can do it. That one little thing, that's coming from, the Most High to help you go along with that. And lastly, what I want to be able to say, what are some things you can do? And shout out to Kendra Cherry and this great article and some great suggestions she gave going forward to deal with that. Let me check this really quick. Kevin says, thanks for the early morning motivation, my brother. Have a blessed day to you all. Same to you, Kevin. I know you got to go get at it. And the last thing I want to be able to say that can help you with this, guys, is things you can do to help you manage that. Stop the negative talk. I mean, you got to just look about who in your circle and who you're around, man. And you can always say, hey, man, we started going into spring, get ready for summer. Let's get away from the negative talk. Because you keep having that conversation that goes on and on. I just talked about how I have to catch myself on social media where it may be something that's very intriguing. That's something I may want to be able to look at, But here's the thing, man. It was very important that you watch who you talk to. You better make sure you're around people who are going to be pouring some positivity into your life and what's going on. Dr. Hagen says, like any sport, you have to practice positive character traits if you really want to change. This man right here, man, I love this guy. We can talk and we can have fun talking about stuff, but overall, it's going to be a very positive, uplifting conversation. You have to realize that sometimes. It's very important, the people you keep around you and you put yourself in, who breathe into your situation. Also, reframe the situation you're looking at. I used to say when you got somebody on the free throw line with 2 free throws to win the state championship, some can say that's a lot of pressure. Another say that's a lot of opportunity. Reframe it. Go back and say, okay, let me reframe how this situation looks. And I think it's all about how we look at the situation from what and say, you know what, it's not necessarily bad because they said no. I said, well, that's something I can eliminate. That's something I no longer have to put any emotional capacity into. That frees me up to focus on something else. Oh, great. You're not on board with it? Okay, no problem. No disrespect. Keep it moving. Thanks for letting me know. I can focus my energy over here as opposed to saying, oh, no, that didn't work out for me. I didn't get that. So reframe the situation. How about this too? Establish new patterns. Oh, here we go. Changing things up a little bit. Don't do things the way you normally did. Don't go that route, whether it's physically going a route or dealing with somebody or say, no, I'm not going to experience this. This is not what I'm going to do Friday night, Saturday night. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to stay in a little bit. I'm going to change my workout time because I find I'm a little bit more productive when I do this. I'm going to do all these things. Be okay with changing what's happening. We become, creatures of habit over time, but you can change those things you have going on. And here's another one. Savor the positive moments. You had 6 months of a great experience and the last 3 weeks wasn't the way you wanted to be. That's okay. Focus on the 6 months. Focus on the 6 months. I call it the ATM effect. I tell athletes, you got to go and think about, I tell my daughter, say, Daddy, I want to go do this. I say, well, got to be some money. She said, just go to the ATM. Well, you got to put something in the bank. Same thing. Have this positivity bank of all these things you can go back on and think about that have helped you going forward. Think about those things and savor the positive moments. Run that reel in your brain to combat the negativity bias. Run that reel of the positive things in your brain to combat that negative positive asymmetry that we were talking about. And lastly, guys, we'll just say we'll end with that because these are some things and traits that can help you. I just want to say thank you to everybody for coming on board, for checking in. It was a great day. It was a great weekend. I enjoyed being able to share with you. Hey, live a life uninterrupted. Think about taking all those negative things that you kind of deal with and talk yourself out of situations with, taking all that away to go live that life that you want. I know it was more time spent than before. I want to thank our sponsor, the Detroit Wayne Integrated Health Network. They've been on board to support us and some great things that we have going on. Go check out their social media. Go see what they have going for you that can help you. Look at the app. Also, if you have someone who needs some support, there's an 800 number, 800-241-4949. You can contact when you're having issues. With that being said, thank you guys. This is Lindsay Ellis on SPS. I want you to have a great day, a great week, great year, all those great things to you. And thanks for supporting SPS. Peace.